Hi there, and welcome to this week's edition of Top End Track Talk. I'm Andrew O'Toole, and today we'll be previewing this coming Saturday's meeting here from Fanny Bay, which is Saturday the 3rd of February. With the last two races not being run on Australia Day last Friday, those events were added to this weekend's card. Originally, there was to be a 7-race fixture. However, the 0 to 64 1100 fell over at acceptance time with just 3 acceptors. That said, some 49 horses are due to race this week, which is still a good result, as this meeting is the middle of 3 successive weeks of racing in the top end. The first of the half dozen, the maiden plate, is over the 1300 metres. It gets underway at 2:12 p.m, while the last is scheduled to jump at 5:16 p.m. In the first, the Bridge Toyota Trobus maiden plate, my numbers are 3, 10 and 9. Field of 10 to go around here in the first, the maiden over the 1300, and I've settled on number 3 as my top selection, Mutiny, from the stable of Dick Leach. It's only had the 3 starts in Darwin, this horse, and hasn't been going bad. 2 fourths and a good third last time out. That race was in a 0 to 58. Back to the maiden here makes plenty of appeal. So it's going down in grade, it's going up in trip, and I think it gets its chance here. Drawn a little awkwardly, but 1300 affords him a good run down the back. So number 3 on top. Ahead of number 10, Proclesi. Now this horse ran last Friday on Australia Day, having its first start in the top end for Phil Cole, Emma Lyons Road. And on that occasion was a very good run, I thought, for third behind Gunshot, Glitter and Debating. Drew wide, Emma went right across to the inside rail, hugged the rail the whole way, and did a really good job to finish third, beaten about 4.3 lengths. Only has to back up that effort to be very hard to beat here. And my third selection is number 9, No Rain, No Flowers. The rain looks to have gone for a little while, so No Rain, No Flowers probably well named. Chris Pollard trains this one. Stan Sakos aboard. Last 3 starts have been 4th placings. I ran here the other day and finished 4th behind Gunshot Glitter, and it should be there or thereabouts. It's knocking on the door. Numbers in the first are 3, 10 and 9. The second's the Chinese New Year handicap, this over the 1300 as well. But this is a top grade race of the day, the benchmark 76, and my numbers here are 1, 4 and 2. He was really good the other day, Sakaro, number 1 on Australia Day. He finished third and a very close up third to the grand old stager in Noir de Rue. Emma Lyons rode on that occasion. She rides again, takes the 2 kilos off, so he goes around with 60 kilos, does Sakaro. He carried... What did he carry last week? He carried 62 last week, so he's actually down in weight. Obviously, there's no Noir de Rouge in this, and as long as he can back up, it's the same trip again, 1300. He's probably looking for a little bit further now, but such is his quality. I've got him on top, number 1. To beat the obvious danger, number 4, Volator from the Ange Forster stable, and Sonia Logan takes the mount here. Last start winner on the 13th of January. That was over 1200, so goes up an extra 100 in distance, but she was good last time, Volator. He was, rather. He's a bay gelding. Hit the line solidly and should be hard to beat again. Well, in for third, another backing up from last week, number 2, Cielo Doro from the Cole stable. Minonette Kennedy returns from Queensland to ride again this Saturday, and she was aboard last week, only just got beat by Noir de Rue. Went a really good race, and as long as they can back up 8 days after their last start, he'll be right in the party as well, Cielo Doro. Numbers in the second are 1, 4 and 2. The third's the Ladbrokes Mates Mode handicap, this at the 1200 metre barrier for the benchmark 54 gallopers. Numbers here 3, 6 and 2. She Can Mix It, of course, holds the track record for the 1,000 metres here that it won 3 starts ago. Since then has had a ninth when nothing went right, and then a really good second the other day, I thought, behind Make an Effort. Make an Effort's come out and won again since. Stan Sakos goes aboard this week. He hasn't been on the horse's back. Janusz Luxemon, Paul Shires and Emma Lyons, the 3 partners for She Can Mix It. And Stan will have to bet his best here from the outside gate of 7, but I think She Can Mix It. He's got plenty of pace, and on that last start, Effort will be hard to beat. 3 on top to beat 6, Chief Mondo, Gary Clark and Jared Todd, the combo. This horse was also nominated in the $40,000 wet season final, but Gary's elected to go this way. Also over 1200, of course, but last start third to Make an Effort was good and should be right in the finish. And my third selection, number 2, Beatification, Sonia Logan and her husband Tom. They're having a pretty good run with their little team at the present time. And this horse has only had 4 starts in Darwin, 2 seconds, a win, and then a third last time behind Bond's Pride. That's good form for a race like this. Numbers in the third are 3, 6 and 2. We go to the feature of the day, the TRNT Off the Track Wet Season Series Final. This was one of the events not run last week, of course. Over the 1200, $40,000 up for grabs for the 0 to 70 gallopers, and horses that ran during the heats of the wet season series are eligible for this race. Numbers in the big one of the day are 5, 6 and 1. Going here with number 5, Pop Magic. Ella Clark trains. Ella trained a Quinella last week, Ella Quinella, and Stan Sakos takes the mount. Pop Magic's drawn the inside gate. I think that'll be right to his advantage. His latest form is really good, a win in 3 seconds at his last 4 starts. Last time out he was second to New Roman. When he won, 2 starts back he drew out, but Stan Sakos goes back aboard in great form. I've got him on top. Number 5 to take out the wet season final. Ahead of 6, Make an Effort. Just racing so well now for Tom Logan is this 7-year-old mare. She's won her last 2. She steps up to the 1200s, probably the only unknown with her. She's only had 1 start at the trip, but such is the way she's racing. She must be hard to beat again. And my 3rd selection, number 1, Ankle Rolex. Another coming off his a couple of wins at his last 2 is what I'm trying to say. Minute Kennedy aboard. Pat Johnson trains, of course. He's been mixing his distances. He won over a mile 2 starts back, then 1300 last time, so he drops back again to the 1200. But I'm sure Paddy will have him ready to go here. In the 4th, my numbers are 5, 6 and 1. We go to the 5th to celebrate Valentine's Day at Silks. That, of course, is the 14th of February. And that's 1,000 metres over the 0 to 58. Numbers here are 1, 4 and 2. Pride of Limassol, Dick Leach trains. Jade Hampson rides this time. Paul Shires was on last start when the horse ran second on Australia Day behind Make an Effort. Tried hard, that was 1,000. This is 1,000. Drawn better this time, or actually drawn a little bit better, I think. Last start drew 1. I just don't think that suited the horse on that really wet day here on Australia Day. In barrier 3, with hopefully better weather, I think Pride of Limassol will jump to the front and take plenty of catching. 1 on top here, number 4, Aplamato, my 2nd selection. Emma Lyons for Chloe Baxter. Last couple of runs have been better. He had been a little disappointing, but a 2nd and a 4th at his last 2 point to a return to his best form. And in for 3rd, number 2, Wolf Queen for Tommy and Sonia Logan. Last started on the 16th of December, so has had a break of about 6 weeks. Drops back in grade. At last start was a class 2. This a 58, and I think she only has to put her best foot forward to be right in the party as well. Numbers in the 5th are 1, 4 and 2. And we go to the last. This is the Sportsbet Handicap. This was the other race that wasn't run last week, over the mile for the Class 2 gallopers. And numbers here are 6, 4 and 2. Number 6 on top, Fisher. I tipped him last week on top in this race. I've got no reason to change that selection. Jade Hampson for Tayan Halter. Drawn wide, but it won't matter. This horse gets back. Jade will pop him out from that outside gate. He'll come across behind them and hopefully can get a run through and finish over the top. That's the plan anyway. Number 6, Fisher. To beat number 4, Princess Pancakes, racing well for Kerry Petrick. Paul Denton, visiting from Alice Springs, takes the mount. Good second last time out here on the 13th of January. That was behind Bond's Pride, who's a pretty smart conveyance. And I think Princess Pancakes over the mile will make her presence felt. And my 3rd selection, number 2, Hong Kong Fighter for Dick Leach and Aaron Sweeney. Last raced here on the 1st of December, so he's had a little bit of a break as well. And just looks an improver for me, drawn the inside gate. And as I say, good to see Aaron Sweeney on board. He rode a winner, his first winner back here in Darwin since returning after the carnival. So my numbers in the last are 6, 4 and 2. Best bet on the day, not an easy day. Going with race 1, number 3, Mutiny. Race 1, number 3, Mutiny for Dick Leach. Well, the best roughie in the feature, race 4, number 4, the old stager, Patria. It's the kind of race that he could certainly make his presence felt. Race 4, number 4, Patria. Well, that wraps up this edition of Top End Track Talk, but we'll be back again next week in advance of the 3rd of our successive Top End meetings here in Darwin. That, of course, is Friday, the 9th of February. And until next week, good luck and good punting.